Hi, this is Roger, thanks for dropping by. The mystery plant. What I've done is I've set up the tripod so that I can get the camera very close and do a sharp focus on the actual bloom itself. And what I will then do is take a still off of the video, which I will pop up so that you get a really good close look, hopefully very sharp and in focus. When you're trying to identify an orchid from a bloom, you have to look at the specific features that stand out. And one of the things that stands out on this bloom are the three sepals. The fact that they're visible, especially the vertical one. The shape of the bloom does not obscure the sepals. Point number one. Plus they have a little bit of colour on them. And that's the colour you see on the buds. The base of the buds have a purpley tinge on, before they open, and that colour is brought forward even onto the front of the sepals. And then the next thing you sort of have to look at is the coloration. What colours have we actually got? Well, we've got yellow, obviously, but we've got a little tiny spot of white, yeah? And either side of that spot of white on this bloom, which might not transfer to all other blooms, are two black dots. And then you have to look at the shape. Yeah. Now at this point this bloom has a curvature to it, so you can't see the lip properly because it's curving away from the shot. So what we're looking at is the top part of the bloom. So we've got a pair of wings, we've got a structure in the center near the top, and then two more wings pointing at sort of, I think they call it 10 to 2, don't they? That actually separate the three sepals. Right, what I'll do now is move the camera and see if we can get round and get a shot of the actual lip so that we can see that. This is not easy because I've only got to touch it and it'll go all over the place. Right, so let me lock that in about there. Right, so now as you can see, this is a different view altogether, but we can see the shape of the lip now, and the important bit about the shape of the lip is the indentation at the very bottom. Yeah? And that's quite important. Now again, plants can have variable blooms, on the same spike even, but the thing that strikes me is that the sepals still show. Those bottom two sepals are still showing out to the sides of the lip from this angle. And then we've got our tall structure that we were looking at before at the very top of the bloom now. And then we've got the bit of white that I mentioned that you can now see, and the two little black dots. So all of these features are part of this bloom. And if you're looking at blooms and they're not there, the chances are it's not the right plant. It's as simple as that. These are quite specific features. God, the gulls are noisy around here. Well, they are today anyway, probably because the sun's come out. Anyway, so those are your close-ups, and I've had to do two. And as I said, I'll take stills and use those as pop-ups over and above this shot, so that you've got a nice close view. And I'll literally end the video with those two stills side by side, because you can't get the complete view of the bloom from one angle on the camera. So your brain and your eyes adjust to those sorts of curvatures and sort of give you a proper picture. But with the camera, we've had to do two. So, let's see what you come up with. I'm reasonably certain I know what this is, and if that is deemed to be true, then this is special. Why is it special? Because it's the one I've been harping on about for so long that keeps getting named pink, i.e. Sotoanum. And I think this is the real thing. But that's my opinion, not necessarily a fact. So anyway, if you fancy a game, just put in some Oncidium species names and get the images up on Google, and then you'll start realising how variable the blooms are for a specific plant. And as I said, sometimes even on the same spike. Right, the heater and the fan have kicked off now, so the plant's going to start moving about. So we'll have to call that a day. Here we go. Starting to blow around. Right, see you next time.